Trump spoke with both leaders of Russia and Ukraine today. Okay.
All right.
We just got a little bit of ABC and the...
That's ABC News. Thank you very much. And we're back to Victory Lane.
Well, it's big news who we got in the studio. That's what it is. ABC News is even handling this.
That's right.
Hey, Ryan Montgomery, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing all right. How are you guys?
Good.
Good. Of course, this is Victory Lane. And this is
that's
Rick
right.
Bill.
You're right, and we couldn't do it without her.
That's right.
At any rate. So, new season at the Sycamore, street stocks.
Yes, sir.
You know, I have to say, I think street stocks is my favorite division at Sycamore. I do. It flashes back to the way the old late models used to run.
Yep.
That's how it started,
then,
right?
You know, and now the late models are a little different, but I don't know. Just sitting in the stands there, I like watching the street stocks.
I think they put on the best show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Hey, that's what,
Well, that's probably because you're in the show.
Oh,
obviously.
yeah, duh.
but you know that, I mean, realistically, that's how it all started, right? Even back in NASCAR and all that, it was a street stock type of car, and then you keep modifying and keep modifying and keep modifying. We're like, all right, well, you're not a street. This isn't street legal no more. All right, we're going to have to make another class. We're going to call this late models or whatever. Oh, wait a minute, you got a tube stub on it. Well, now you're a super late model.
That's about the way it went.
Yeah, stock appearing body.
Yeah.
Well, you don't. No.
They're about there already.
I know, right? So.
But that's just the thing. The title really sounds, it's not really a good description because you're really not a street stock automobile.
No.
But and all you have to do is sit in the sands and you'll notice that once the street stock hits the clay over there. But and street stocks, I think every asphalt dirt track has street stocks, but there are different rules, and
depending on the track.
yeah, right.
Yep.
But again, I don't know if you have any aspirations of moving up to any late models, but
Not yet.
yeah, you got to get a little more coin.
Yes, very. I got a lot more money for that class.
Yeah.
Sponsors.
Yeah. Well, that's good. So you were out for your first run this week,
Yep, Saturday was my first time back this
Yeah.
season.
and
How'd that go for you?
I mean, it could have been better. Feature time, I popped a tire and then popped another tire as we were putting the tire on. So
yeah.
didn't really. I finished the race, but I didn't finish it under power. I drove out there under the checkered flag.
Yeah. Well, again, I have to explain. It could have been better, and I was told years ago that's a farmer's saying. We're farm country out here yet. No matter what, when the crops are done and and you're sending them to market, you go, hey, how was your year? Ask any farmer. Could have been better. Yeah, they'll never tell you, that's the greatest year I've ever had. Could have been better.
Well, the thing I like is the tenacity that he had, where it's like, you know what? Listen, let's just get out there and get a point or get something because, it matters at the end of the year. Because at the end of the year, it never fails wherever you finish, except if you're the champion. If you're second on back, you're like, are you kidding me? We lost by 2 points to that guy?
Yeah.
Just think if we would have just got the car out on the track and done 2 laps or whatever the deal would be, right?
Yep.
All the time. I've been a part of those teams as well, and you're always kicking yourself in the behind. So, like you said, you're like, you know what? We barely made it out there. We crossed the checker flag. Hey, guess what? You got a point.
Still got
or whatever.
points.
Whatever your points were for that.
You could probably, Bob, and Ryan, you could trace back to your opening night while you didn't win a championship. I mean, that's how you have to gauge everything.
I will say that the championship that we won, we weren't even counting for points. We didn't even realize. We were just racing. We realized we had a fast car until about halfway through the season you go, yeah, look at that. Well, look where we are on the points right now.
Yeah.
Well, now you start thinking a little different. But at the beginning, you're just having fun, and you got a fast car, and you're winning races, and you're celebrating and all that, and then you realize it, and then it just happens because you're already in that rhythm.
Right, and you really don't want to overthink, and there's a lot of times, I don't know, when you do your setups, and you change, and the car doesn't get. Do you end up going back to your original setup and then make different moves that way? You can't just keep making moves on a move that didn't help, and then try to make another change, and it made it worse. You got to find that base you start with.
We have baseline.
Yeah.
We always go back to.
Right.
Absolutely, that you always have to have that. Even if it worked last year, and you're like, somebody gave you the hot setup, it's going to work. Worked for me. You're like, this guy's always beating us. Yeah, we'll try it. Give it a shot. And your driving style may not be suited for that setup. And that's, like you said, now I'm blowing tires, and you're like, what the heck?
Yeah.
Let's go back to the baseline. Let's figure something else out.
So is Sycamore the only track you've run on?
That's the only one so far. I want to venture out eventually, but right now, because I just graduated college. I'm trying to build up some money. I need to get a better towing truck.
Yeah.
I don't think my truck can make it too far.
Yeah,
So
there you go.
I have my dad's truck now, but I don't want to use his stuff. So,
Well, we've talked about this. We were talking before we went on the air. A lot of people venture out from their home track, and from all the years I've been following Sycamore, a lot of people venture out, but hello, I'm back, So, but I guess you got to test the waters and see how it is.
Yeah.
I think it expands your horizons a little bit. It's good if, no matter whether you're running at Sycamore or Grundy or whatever, you're like, hey, let's go run at Hawkeye Downs, or let's go run at Fairbury, or let's Kankakee. And you just check it out, and it maybe it's to the point where you're aggravated with yourself, and you're aggravated with how you're running, and then you go somewhere else and you find something, or you talk to another dude or another team at a different track, and you're like, I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, the clay's not always browner at another track.
Right.
So we'll be talking to you throughout the night. We got to take care of some business here every now and then. And
a lot of racing going on this weekend. I'm sure you followed a lot of it, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
This was an exciting weekend with the Indy qualifying.
Yeah, let's start off with that, right?
Oh, man. And then, the All-Star race. And now next weekend, you got 3 great races. That's something there. The first race of next Sunday is something you could aspire to. That's the Formula One race, and where's that, Bob?
Monaco, or some people say Monte Carlo. My God, yes. Yeah. Or, I mean, next weekend has always been that weekend where you're just like, if you're an automotive racing fan, you can find racing anywhere between Formula One, Indy 500, stock car racing, and then let alone locally.
Right.
All the local tracks are going to have something special going on.
We had we talking to Meatloaf last week when he does the results, and somehow we figured out that we were going to go to Monte Carlo. We didn't have a yacht, but I think we're going to use his pontoon boat.
He's got a party barge or a pontoon boat that
right.
we thought we'd slide in there and maybe sneak in there as the guests, the servers, the servers, right?
There you go.
Oh my God! Can you have another cocktail, please?
Melinda, let's take our first break.
The engines, the excitement of the crowd.
Let's go. It's time for family fun for everyone at Sycamore Speedway.
Friday night racing at its best on May 23rd. Powder Puff, Spectator, Soccer Stalker, and Compact 25-lapper, plus all-class figure 8 and one-on-one drags. Every weekend is a fun-filled night at Sycamore Speedway. For a complete list of races and pricing, visit sycamorespeedway.com or download the free app. Sycamore Speedway, Route 64 east of Sycamore.
Good old-fashioned racing at Sycamore Speedway. Let's go racing.
Dents can happen at any time. A shopping cart that blew into your car. A new driver that had an oopsie. Whether it's old dents, new dents, dents happen. D&J Dent Removal, no dent left behind, are the professionals who will work with your insurance and have your vehicle back to looking like nothing ever happened. Your classic car with its original paint can be treated by their team too. Talk to D&J Dent Removal. Save time and money with D&J Dent Removal. Visit dnjdentremovalmontgomery.com. No dent left behind.
Hey, did you know Anderson Plumbing and Heating offers a yearly membership program?
Really?
Yeah, their technician was at my house installing my new outside faucet, and he mentioned the membership program. So not only did I save money on that visit, but I'm also going to get my furnace checkup this fall and my AC unit checkup in the spring for free. It's a great deal. It's only $99 for the year.
Sounds like I need to get on their plan.
Anderson Plumbing and Heating, a proud Lennox dealer. Air is life. Make it perfect. Learn more about memberships at AndersonPH.com. Our reviews say it all.
Plano Quick Care, your hometown car care with quick and quality service you can trust. You know them for oil changes, but they offer a lot of services for your car. Like race cars, how many more final laps do your tires have left? Plano Quick Care can get you driving off in a new set of tires with the quick and quality service you have come to trust for over 9 years. Offering a 10% discount to seniors, military, and veterans. Visit Plano Quick Care on Route 34 in Plano. Give them a like on Facebook. Plano Quick Care.
Let's head over to Grundy County Speedway, talk to Tony Baranek. And Tony, what were you talking about last week? Larry Schuler, and wow, what did he do last Friday?
Schuler mania, brother. Schuler mania.
Man.
Shows he still got it.
Oh, he definitely has, and we've seen it all along. I've known a few race car drivers in my life who are so dedicated and seemingly ageless. So Larry might be at the top of that list. He's 72 years old, and he's driving like he's 27.
Yeah. When's the last time you saw somebody at Grundy win a late model feature by over 3 seconds?
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
and very much lately, the cars have not been that separated because they just all, they were riding about. Now they did dial up the top groove a little bit, and that's basically what he used. He got the start off James Regate, front row. He was on the outside, and then when he had the lead, there was a first yellow of the season in the super late models after 2 clean weeks. He had Danta behind him, and I thought there's no way he's going to give that bottom groove to Anthony Danta, but he did, and he blew him away, and he blew away the field. It's pretty amazing stuff. Blake Brown worked his way into second place, but he didn't really have anything for him. It was many car lengths between them. Third place, Anthony Danta. He kind of rode that high side a little bit later on, and he held off B.J. Weltmeyer lap after lap. Weltmeyer's down on the bottom, trying to push by, but Danta held on. Ricky Baker was 5th, and fast qualifier Eddie Hoffman was 6th. But yeah, the show was Larry Schuler.
And I'm sure it's a fan
crowd
favorite.
Reaction was amazing.
Oh yeah, I've been down there before when he's won a race, and it's amazing. It's like I use it over and over. He's like Richard Petty winning down there. You hear the crowd just go and roar for him.
Well, think about this. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Tony, but he has won at least one feature in 6 decades of racing.
This is true. This is true. He got his first win, and it was really funny because, I asked him I caught him before he was going on the scales, and I'm asking him, why do you keep coming back for more? Real quick. Oh, I enjoy it. I just very much enjoy it. I said, hey, does it feel like old times? And he goes, well, a little bit, but it's been 5 years since I won, but it never gets old. Then I asked him, do you remember your first win? He goes, God, no, I don't remember. He goes, a long time ago. Well, it was 1973 at Indiana Speedway. Thank you, Stan Kalwazinski.
There you go.
For that tidbit there that he gave me last year when I did a story on Larry. And, so Larry Schuler magic continues. And, boy, it's great to see. No doubt about it. Rest of the races you want to hear about?
Sure do.
Features. Matt Lee took the lead from Alex Gay on lap 6 of their 20-lapper in the street stock, and went on to beat Kellen Arnold by half a second. Third went to Christy Odom. Ryan Dawson, Joshua Grenlin, and Larry Rona finished out the top 6. And, boy, Jerry Legner won out in the Crown Vic feature in a really tough battle with Eddie Legui, and they were 1 and 2. But check this out: It was a Legui family fiesta. Brian Legui finished third. Austin Legui finished fourth. And Gavin Legui, or not Legui, I'm sorry, Legner. It was all the Legners. Brian Legner, Austin Legner, and Gavin Legner was right there at the front of the pack, but he overheated late. So they won. 3 of them were 1, 2, 3 in a heat race.
That's a domination by the family there.
All right, hey, Tony. Tony, do you remember when Tom Legner raced out at Santa Fe?
Yep, I do.
Okay.
Yep, I do. And I do think didn't he race at LaSalle too? I think
he could have.
I think he did. Yeah. Well, they're having fun in that Crown Vic division, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, in the pure stocks, Jason Slacharczyk followed up his brother Gavin's win last week with his first career victory. Slacharczyk beat Chris Coppers, while Zach Chanda, Todd Snow, and Colton Williams followed. And finally, you're going to love this one. Zach Sinercha won his first Super Cup feature.
Wow.
The third Sinercha to win a feature race at Grundy County Speedway. Of course, his dad, John, multi-track and multi-time champion. And his little brother, Jacob, of course, won a Super Cup title. Well, in this one, he held off a real tough charge by Michaela Hall at the finish. But there you go, another Sinercha in the winner's circle. And that's what I got for this week, guys.
All right, Tony, thanks much.
Thank you.
You're very, very welcome, and we'll talk to you next week.
All right. Ryan, do you remember your first feature win?
No, because I haven't had one.
You're going to work on it.
Yeah.
Working on that still.
But you feel like you got one in your pocket, don't you?
I really hope so this year, with how much changes we made in the car.
So the photo of the car we post on our Victory Lane page, is that the car you're running this year?
Yes, sir. That's the yellow and black one.
Yeah, that is a sharp-looking car.
Thank you. It's actually a throwback to my dad's old car.
Is that right?
That's cool.
Only thing different, the roof's not yellow, but
it's
tribute car kind of.
Yeah.
Basically.
Well, then let's just say you're a third-generation driver out there. So when did your grandfather race out there?
Oh, I think it was the 90s.
Yeah. And then your dad for how many
You make
years?
that sound like it was a long time ago.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
It wasn't, Melinda. It wasn't that long ago.
That wasn't long ago at all.
My dad was from the 90s to like 2010, 2011, something like that.
But your grandpa was in the 90s also, so they raced against each other?
They raced against each other, but I didn't race against any of them.
Yeah. That'd be... Didn't we have a 3-generation run out there? Was it the Spoonmores?
The Spoonmores, I think.
We wanted that. If Garland would have gotten in, maybe. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got that.
So the car this year, you guys have made a lot of changes to this car compared to last year to obviously try to, you always want to improve from the following year. So you've made a lot of changes?
You can say that.
Yeah.
Put a new body on it.
Oh.
Quote unquote.
Okay.
No, we did a lot to it. We lost a lot of weight and...
There you go. That way you can move weight around and where you need it. That's a good job.
So who does the setups? Do you have a team of that like their ideas on how to set it up? That's what
buddies.
I'm thinking.
That's a topic.
Yeah.
Me and my buddy Danny Allen, we are throwing setups of the car. My dad has input on it, but he's kind of
you go your own way, son.
Kind of a little bit. And me and Danny Allen, we've been really just setting the car up. And
so has Danny been with you from the get-go?
Yeah, these past 2 years he's really been helping out. We've always been friends, but this past 2 years he's been helping out.
So, but you've had it, for your fourth year this year? Or
yep, this is my fourth year.
Fourth year. You've improved every year, I would think, right?
I think so. I would think so.
Yeah. You don't get crazy on your setups, do you?
Oh, sometimes. Sometimes we like to party.
There you go. That's my boy there.
And I'm sure you got it all written down.
Yeah.
We got a book.
Yep. The book.
The book. It's scribbling when you've had about 4 beers in.
Yeah.
What does that read here? Well, I can't tell what that is. What spring? What?
My handwriting's so bad I can't tell either way.
Is that right? Wow. So, when you race there, what is it that you think is your best trait? Is it throwing it into the corner? Is it straightaway speed? Do you read the other drivers? What makes you faster than others?
I think going into the corner.
Yeah.
Because everyone else likes to park it in the corner. I like rolling into the corner.
Yeah, roll
I'm not
the
trying to
center.
toot my own horn though. So
No, you like to roll the center.
yeah, I like to
instead of
roll
ever-
into the corner.
Yep.
Yeah, going in is good, and forward bite when you're coming out, especially on clay, that's the ultimate, man. When you can,
Everybody
put
thinks
everything on
when
that
you're-
left rear.
Everybody
right
thinks
rear.
when you're on clay or dirt that you really got to get that car sideways, and no, that's not necessarily true.
Yeah.
It sounds weird to say, but you're almost trying to keep the car as straight as you can through the corners, and not try to put as much steering wheel into it, and get the car crossed up, because then that's when the car, everybody, you're like you said, you're almost parking it in the center of the corner instead of letting it roll through the corner and let the chassis and your setup that you've worked on all week do its job.
So it wasn't second gear after all.
Well, that was a special night,
Have you ever gotten in anybody else's car or had anybody get into your car for feedback?
Oh, like driving it?
Yeah.
Yeah, say, hey, you know what? I can't figure this out tonight. What do you think?
I had one person drive at mechanics race, but the track was so burnt up. It was the end of the night that really didn't do anything.
Oh, yeah.
Other than that, I've been the only one that driven this car.
Well, and I know well. Back in the day, I wish that is there something else you can say besides back in the day? Long
Maybe we
time
should
ago.
do a show sometime, a special show called Back in the Day.
Yeah, right. But that did happen a bit. If you had a friend or whatever, hey, just get in my car and hot lap and tell me what you think. And there was always somebody else's feedback was always good. And with the guy who I was with, the guy that would drive his car and give him feedback, of course, was Arnie Gardner. Who could you get better feedback from? But
You've seen that even up in the pros with NASCAR and all that. You'd see Bobby Allison in somebody else's car, and you'd be like, "Why is he in this car?" And the guy would be like, "Dude, I can't figure this thing out. Can you tell me?" I know when we were at Grundy, our driver, we had it was fellas that ran a little bit farther behind us, and they're like, "We can't figure this thing out. Will you tell us what's going on?" And so we went down there, and me and Larry Ament went down there and looked at the car, and we're like, "I don't know." We put the stagger in the car and went out, and it was still not right. And we told them what springs we had in our cars, give a ballpark figure.
Well, see now here. So if you ever do something like that, if you have somebody wants you to drive their car. So Arnie would take, this happened in Moline, East Moline one time. Arnie took it around and he said, "Well, what is it?" Arnie would go, "Well, you might want to look at that right front." Yeah? Yeah, you just might want to look at it. He wouldn't tell you what to do.
That's
He
right.
would,
You ain't going to tell them what you're running.
Here's where I think your problem is. Now you figure it out, because you don't really help anybody get any faster.
I'm going to steer you in the right direction, but you figure it out.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. Real quick, let's take this to the top of the hour. Indy qualifying.
Good Lord. Usually Indy qualifying to me is boring.
Yeah.
Especially when there's no bump day. Back in the day.
Well, there was kind of a bump day.
70s, 80s, 90s. Even the last 2 or 3 years, there was some type of a bump day.
Right.
But I like where they're going with this, where they had, not only did we have a bump day, but they did almost kind of like what Formula One's doing. They did your top 6. So now and especially all the crashes that have been going on all week in practice, everybody's been losing it, whether it's the wind or it's the track. Everybody's been putting a car in a fence. And so now you've got your field set, and now you're in the top 6. And I know if I was in the top 6, I'd be like, I couldn't have been 7th, because I really don't want to go back out again. I want to save my car till next weekend, right? And now these guys are going out, and this dude, that rookie that put his car on the pole, talk about a set on him and run that car just to the wall.
He was like the Ryan Montgomery of IndyCar. I mean, that's how fast this guy went. Am I right, Ryan?
I guess.
Yeah, okay. Take it and run with it, buddy.
I'll take it.
All right.
Unbelievable, the time, and it set a faster time than he did when he qualified originally.
Right.
That was what blew my mind. And then, of course, when he keeps running those speeds, the way everybody's crashing, I'm just waiting for this guy to back it in the fence. And you see a little jiggle in the back of the car, and you're like, God, I would just, if I was the 6th place guy going out last, I'd be like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of nurse this thing around. I'm going to be 6th. I'm good with that. Bring the car home in one piece. We got something to play with on Sunday.
Everybody wants that pole. It doesn't make. It really doesn't make much, but just the prestigious to say that you were on the pole for the Indy 500.
Okay, so you're on the pole for the Indy 500. Did you win the race?
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's what makes Indy so interesting. All the things that everybody wants to achieve.
Now, this guy being a rookie and a rookie team, this is a first-year startup team and a rookie guy being on the pole. What did I pulled this off here? This is first rookie driver to win the pole since Teo Fabi. Do you remember him? He had the Skull Bandit car in 1983, and he's just the third rookie to win the pole on the track and will be the sixth first-year starter to lead the field to the green.
So
you think you'd be a little nervous when you're coming down and the guy gives you the green flag?
I'd be a little nervous, but you know what? Those nerves have to go away real quick.
I'd rather be on the inside, though, than the outside.
Exactly.
Of a 3 wide there.
So look at the tail end of the field now.
Yeah, Ryan's shaking his head. Yeah, no doubt.
Look at the tail end of the field, how that all shook down. You know, you got both coin cars. You know, they want to get in. You got Andretti that's up there, and so they put the rookie Abel.
Abel.
Yeah, and
had the Miller High Life car.
Right, and didn't get it up to speed.
Well, and I found that interesting is that, and I agreed with Dale Coyne. You know, you're like you got VK sitting there, and you got this other guy here, his other teammate that's going to go out. So why not VK? We know we're faster than the guy we're about to send out. Why don't we try to run, see if we can really hang it out there and bump Armstrong or Andretti down to the bump spot. And then both of our cars will probably get in. Unfortunately, it didn't work out that way. VK ran a little bit faster, but not fast enough to. He made fast enough to get into the show, but not fast enough to bump the other guys out.
But not at first. I mean, they kept showing the family, and they didn't look too happy. But the phrase that pays, even the announcer goes, "Well, I don't understand why they're doing it this way. I don't." When they went over there and so interviewed Dale, what's up? What are you doing this for? He goes, what? Haven't you ever played chess with yourself? That's he was playing a chess game against himself, and I just thought that was a pretty slick answer.
Yeah, I felt bad for him, you know, especially it's a local race team here, right out of Plainfield over here.
Yep.
I guess that's Plainfield off of I-55.
Right.
So yeah, you always want to see a local team do well.
But we'll do this real quick. As of the end of the day yesterday, Coyne was going to be starting last. But he's not starting last next week.
Now because of the Penske cars that had their issues. And apparently it sounds like one of those NASCAR rules where they get these parts and pieces and they are, all right, carbon fiber, it's pulled out of the mold, bolted to the car. And they're like, God, you know what would happen if we just sanded some of these little burrs off the side of this carbon fiber? Just a little bit. Nobody will notice.
So
Wrong.
So this is what fascinates me. You see Bull's letter saying that they're going to put the Penske cars in the back of the track, at back of the pack, and his boss happens to be the owner of Indianapolis Motor Speedway, which is Roger Penske. So that's the employee, you know, telling the boss, you're a bad boy, and this is what's going to happen to you.
Well, you know, in today's world, everybody's like, we want to be transparent, and we want. Well, so here's the ultimate transparency right here.
Right.
This isn't favoritism where they be all, you know, next they're allowed to start. Let's just say on the front row, and they'd be like, man, they allowed them to massage those parts a little bit, and well, there wasn't none of that. They was like, you know, when I first cut in on that qualifying, and I seen that happen, I didn't really realize what was going on, and I thought, are you kidding me? Penske cars aren't going to make the show? Because they're wheeling them back to the garage and all that, and I thought, oh, my goodness. Here's a story.
I think that's a fitting end to that, and especially this is when something really needed transparency, considering all the people involved. You know, and I think that was a star moment there. That was a class.
All the TV cameras and everything that are around there. And
Penske, he could probably win from the back anyway.
Yeah, and we all know that a lot of these races, cup races, it doesn't seem to matter whether it's Formula One or whatever. It's all about the pit stops and the pit strategy. I'll say this: the guy that won the pole there, Robert Schwartzman. he's going to have his hands full. I mean, would he be the favorite, the darling to win the race? I think this particular race, experience is what counts.
Right.
And you going through each and every corner, and now you did that all by yourself. Mm-hmm. Did that all by yourself. Well, now you got 33 cars out there. The wind is buffering off each car. Mm-hmm. Now your car's pushing when it goes into the corner. Now, and especially we talked to Bernie. We have, they got the steering wheel. You got the jacks
way too much to do.
Put the car up in the top, lean the car out in the bottom. Did you do that? Whoops, we got in dirty air. Oh, I'm down on the rumple strips. Whoop, now I backed it in the fence. It'll be a toss-up, I think. I think it'll be a surprise winner.
Could be. Yeah, it very well could be. So, we are at the top of the hour. We have to take a little station break, take care of our advertisers, and we'll be back.
You're listening to Victory Lane on 107.1 WSPY FM in Plano, 103.1 WCSJ FM in Morris, and 98.9 WLBK FM.
We're usually not this much. The roar of the engines, the excitement of the crowd.
Let's go. It's time for family fun for everyone at Sycamore Speedway.
This Saturday night racing brings you limited late models and street stocks. Plus new this year, pure stock 25-lap feature, 500 to win. Every weekend is a fun-filled night at Sycamore Speedway. For a complete list of races and pricing, visit sycamorespeedway.com or download the free app. Sycamore Speedway, Route 64 east of Sycamore.
Good old-fashioned racing at Sycamore Speedway. Let's go racing.
Dents can happen at any time. A shopping cart that blew into your car. A new driver that had an oopsie. Whether it's old dents, new dents, dents happen. D&J Dent Removal, no dent left behind, are the professionals who will work with your insurance and have your vehicle back to looking like nothing ever happened. Your classic car with its original paint can be treated by their team too. Talk to D&J Dent Removal. Save time and money with D&J Dent Removal. Visit dnjdentremovalmontgomery.com. No dent left behind.
Hi, this is Otto from the Exhaust Works in Montgomery at 1157 South Lake Street. We are well known for our exhaust and muffler repairs, but we also perform other auto services. Our techs are well qualified to do brakes, suspension, CV axles, struts, and shocks. We can diagnose that check engine light too. Replacing catalytic converters and oxygen sensors is no problem. And we sell, mount, and balance tires. So call the Exhaust Works at 630-892-0344. When your vehicle needs help, we're here for you.
Plano Quick Care, your hometown car care with quick and quality service you can trust. You know them for oil changes, but they offer a lot of services for your car. Like race cars, how many more final laps do your tires have left? Plano Quick Care can get you driving off in a new set of tires with the quick and quality service you have come to trust for over 9 years. Offering a 10% discount to seniors, military, and veterans. Visit Plano Quick Care on Route 34 in Plano. Give them a like on Facebook. Plano Quick Care.
From the Jovic Ford and Jovic Chevrolet Studios, this is 107.1 WSPY FM Plano.
Nice segue right there into to our the one, the only, the legend at the Sycamore Speedway. Meatloaf.
Ryan Montgomery.
You got that right.
Yeah.
Hey, really quick, one thing. Ryan, I see you with that metric car this year. I see you out there making moves, so that's a really cool thing to see out on track this year.
It's been a metric car the whole time.
If I could just do a 10-second tangent on that Indy 500. Y'all heard about what happened with Penske today, right?
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, that is that's as spicy as a habanero pepper. So that's going to be really interesting to see how that all pans out, especially since those illegal mods were found on last year's winning car. So
yeah, I just saw that blurb.
Now, see, I didn't hear that. That's a new one.
Yeah, that's sitting in the museum.
Fruit on Racer Magazine went to the IMS museum where that car sits and looked at the back of it, and there sat the parts that they confiscated today off those Penske cars.
And to me though, the parts that they're talking about, they're at the back of the car. I mean, and I get wind, I get the air thing, but the part that they're talking about, do you really think that made that big a difference. I don't think so. If you're
But
talking about a wing,
But when you're cheating in a series owned by the same guy who owns the track, it's like, yeah. But anyway, we could talk about that on Facebook. But you know what I'm
we
saying.
could polish off a case of beer and
Meatloaf.
and solve that problem.
Meatloaf, it's like...
Or some Pontiac show somewhere we could all hang out at.
Yeah. But Meatloaf, it's like this. It's hard to save $1 all at once. But if you save $1 a penny at a time, it doesn't really seem like it takes a lot. Pretty soon you got $1. It's the same with this. The littlest
That's
thing,
what I'm saying.
all the way to the...
Stack of pennies, yeah.
Yeah. You know, the fastest way to get horsepower back on the street were headers. Well, that was good. But then there's a lot of other stuff you can do to add to those headers, and all of a sudden you're winning.
Yep.
Isn't that right, Ryan?
Malays there, all you had to do was choke the vacuum line so you get an extra 50 horsepower. But anyway, I digress. We had some really good racing there at Sycamore Speedway this weekend. So now that the pleasantries are aside and IndyCar drama aside, I guess, let's get to some results here.
Yep.
So we're going to start off with our spectator division. It was Anthony Fittipaldi Sr. in the Crown Vic stealing it from the fast Chevys over, you may have heard of this guy, Gus Morsel in the 87X, finished second in that same Impala SS that's back for another year.
Man.
Ryan Decker will round out your top three on the fast feature. Spectator feature 2, Tyler Letterman getting his first feature win. Sidney Terpstra in the 22 team, Kevin Cacciamilio, but there was a big old ugly wreck when Dan Green spun around and took out like 3 or 4 cars. And it was a pretty rough night on Equipment Friday. It was one of those nights where it's like, I'm really glad I did this whole announcing thing.
Yeah.
But they still managed to get cars across the line. So at the end of the day, I'm really happy for that 22 car. He really deserved it. And then Austin Kaufman in his first season in Spectator gets a feature 3 win. And Kevin Memley, after a bad qualifying run, he was subjected to the slow heats and features, and he walked them all, heat and feature, in that number 3 machine for feature 4. And then, of course, he won heat 4. Eric Anders, after a controversial last lap, got a heat 3 win. Shea Kowalski in the 02 got a heat win. Unfortunately, he was one of those cars taken out in that crash, lost the wheel and everything, but was still able to get a win before the bad luck struck him. And then heat 1 was Gus Morsel taking another heat win. Surprise, surprise. And your fastest qualifier was Alan Robinson at an 18.460 for the Spectator division. Powder Puff, your big feature winner was Paige Ricker in the number 21K Crown Victoria. And Alyssa Gibbs, who swept her heat and features in the feature 2 and heat 2, got her first 2 wins at Sycamore Speedway in one night. So a nice 2-for-1 there by the 28J. And then Powder Puff Heat 1 winner, a lot of controversy on that one, but it was Paige Ricker in second, Mallory Jackson with your winner in the Powder Puff Heat number 1, and your fastest qualifier with a 17.620 was Mallory Jackson. Soccer Stalker, your 25-lap feature winner was Rondo Ziegler, but he failed tech, so that gives second to the hard-charging 72X of Brandon Ricker, believe his first Soccer Stalker 25-lap feature win. Austin Snupp in second, and Brandon's old man, Chris Ricker, got the 3rd position. Austin Snupp was your Trophy Dash winner because due to them being the 25-lap feature class of the night, they get no heats, but they do get a dash for the fastest qualifiers. And it was Patrick Thompson in the Nissan Maxima getting a 20.006 for your fastest qualifying time. And Derek Swanson was your compact feature winner with Jacob Ryder and Steve Kraft, your top 3. Heat 2 winner for the compact was Landon Perry, and Heat 1 winner was Brandon Ricker. So as far as Friday night goes, those are your results. We're going to lead them right into Saturday. We're going to start off with the big boys, limited late models. It was a 3-wide finish for the win. Lead changed 3 times in the last lap between Titus Snead, Jerry Spoonmore, and Greg Cantrell. Jerry Spoonmore surprised throwing the slider of the year on opening night. I'm already calling it slide job of the year. It's going to be hard to top that one. I'm talking put him on the dash in the last corner and really threw that slider on him. It was thrilling. I about lost my voice, and it was probably one of the best calls I've had in my announcing at Sycamore Speedway. So big shout-out to Jeremy Spoonmore and that 22 for taking that feature home. John Provenzano was your Heat 1 winner, and Heat 2 winner was defending champ Titus Snead. John Provenzano was your fastest qualifier at a 15.978. Moving on to street stocks. You may have heard of him, Ryan. 4Z, Zach Zuberbeer was your winner. Joe Hernandez in second. Brian Mrazek in third. Corey McKay in fourth. And then, unfortunately, with DNF was Ryan Montgomery. But I'm telling you, that new car you got, man, it's got a lot more speed in it. And I'm going to just tell you this. If I can win a street stock feature, I have no doubt in my heart that you can do the same.
I hope so.
Moving on. We're going to go to heat number one. And your only heat for street stocks was Zach Zuberbeer in the 4Z taking that heat race win. And your fastest qualifier was, surprise, surprise, the 4Z at a 7.716. And pure stock, we cut it 3 laps short because they were just bringing caution. Feature when he was the bright spot in what was kind of a rough feature, but he really displayed just how good he is at just closing. I told him, I was like, you're John the closer. You show up at the end, you steal the feature wins from people, and it's just really impressive. So
patience.
I just wanted to give him his flowers. It was a really, really good effort from him. And your 2 pure stock heats, Jim Ale in the 3J, who was also your fastest qualifier, was your heat race 1 winner. And heat 2 was Brandon Robinson, who's running a Chevy Malibu wagon, G-body Malibu wagon body. Got that heat race win. Really cool-looking car. And at the 21.014 was the aforementioned Jim Ale. Now that I can come up for breath here, those are the results. That was all the action well summed up, and it was a really good weekend. Nothing makes me happier than calling the races. We also had a Power Wheel demo that the parents were all really involved. I was holding their phones to take pictures of them and their kids, and it just makes my heart happy to see families bonding at that level, and just the vibes, everything just seems really good. So it's just good to be back at Sycamore Speedway calling the action. Good to see you have one of our own held hostage with you tonight. It's great to be in Victory Lawn talking about the races with you.
So I don't want to put Melinda on the spot, but I got a question, Melinda. If you ever went to Sycamore Speedway, where would you want to sit?
Up with Meatloaf.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's warm up there on them cold nights if they let you in the booth. I'll tell you, it was Saturday night. It got pretty breezy. But, my girlfriend's always sitting right next to me at the booth, usually by herself if no one comes out. So why don't you go and keep the company warm?
Okay.
Well, she wants to see how you do it.
I want to see you do your job.
Yeah.
And then you got...
it sent me to she'll be talking in her ear. It's going to be so great. And I'm like, yeah. She's being my biggest fan. I think she's a little biased, though.
And of course, this weekend, I'm sure you've got a lot of stuff going on there at the track.
Exactly. So we have a pure stock, we have a big pure stock feature for you. And, that's their 10th anniversary of the pure stock division. So they are having a 25-lapper for their big feature event, and extra payout and everything. So a huge event for our entry-level class that puts on top-shelf racing. Most of the time, we'll be out there really, really fighting for a big event for them. And then, of course, we got street stocks, and then limited late models. And you can see the aforementioned Ryan Montgomery running the street stock division. And then on Friday night, it's our normal casting characters, the Powder Puff, Compact, Stalker, and Spectator. But we have one-on-one drags, so... One-on-one drags is a super cool event, cars from the parking lot racing on track. So
that can get interesting, that's for sure.
What I think is the biggest weekend in motorsports, in my opinion, in the whole year. The biggest weekend in motorsports is Memorial Day weekend.
Yep.
I'm just glad Sycamore Speedway is a part of it.
Yeah, there you go. Thanks, Meatloaf.
Oh, thank you guys. You guys rock. Hey, and good on you, Ryan. Keep fighting. Never give up.
Thank you.
So he was acting like, Meatloaf was saying that you got the metric car, and we all know what the metric car is. So is that a car that have you been improving on this car since you've owned it, or is this a new car that you've got?
This is the same car I've had since high school.
Okay.
It's just I put a Camaro body on it to mess with everybody. So everyone thinks it's still a Camaro. No, it's the same car.
Right. Okay.
Wow. So... let's get, before we go to NASCAR, let's get this out of the way to make sure we don't forget everything, because I think you got a few people you might want to thank. And
yeah, I got sponsors and a couple people I want to shout out.
Sure.
So my sponsors, the list goes, is Genoa Motors Auto Repair, Huerta Landscaping and Snow Removal, DNS Vinyl and Graphics, and Jennings Race Engines. All 4 of those are sponsors that have come back on the program since last year, so I really appreciate them. I really couldn't do it without them.
Mm-hmm.
Then I got a bunch of people I got to thank. I got to thank my mom and dad first. I got to thank my best friend Anthony. I got to thank Jim and Julie Wolf, my grandma, Randy and Diane Jennings, Jamie Jennings, my buddy Danny, Tom and Kim Henderson, Kyle Langley, Nelson Henderson, my other Paul and grandma, Mike and Bonnie Hanson, my girlfriend Marissa, my buddies Hunter, Brad, and Joey. And then I want to give a shout out to Mitch Moog because he's getting married Friday. So
don't do it! Don't do it! No, just joking. I'm just joking.
This is your last chance. Well, congratulations, Mitch.
Yeah.
Does he go to the races?
Yep, he parks right next to me every week. Okay. He shows up on time.
That'll end soon.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. You got a whole group there, man. I mean, it's like
half these guys, they give me $50 for a name on the sponsor.
Yeah.
So I gotta shout them out. Thank you for them.
You do. And then
other half are there every single week busting their tail on my car. So I gotta help. I gotta say thanks.
Yeah, you can't be a one-man show when you're racing.
Why don't we?
Did you get through everything?
Then on the bottom, check out my TikTok, Montgomery Racing, and then we have an in-car camera on YouTube. It's Montgomery Racing again.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So,
well, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's very cool. So
is it live?
No, it's not live,
okay.
But it's
Memorex.
Yeah.
It's edited. You know,
my buddy Anthony.
Let's take that crash out.
So from what I heard about you, they have to take all the swear words out, right? Because of
yeah, sometimes I guess.
So do you talk to yourself when you're running?
A lot.
Do you? Yeah.
The best conversation I've ever had.
Yeah. Well, I'm serious. Some people do. I mean, did you when you were racing?
Yeah.
I know you must.
I did when somebody irked me off, and then I was screaming at the top of my lungs.
Yeah.
Why are you hoarse when you get out of the car? Oh, you have no idea.
Right. Let's take our last break there, Melinda.
The roar of the engines, the excitement of the crowd.
Let's go. It's time for family fun for everyone at Sycamore Speedway.
Friday night racing at its best on May 23rd. Powder Puff, Spectator, Soccer Stalker, and Compact 25-lapper, plus all-class figure 8 and one-on-one drags. Every weekend is a fun-filled night at Sycamore Speedway. For a complete list of races and pricing, visit sycamorespeedway.com or download the free app. Sycamore Speedway, Route 64 east of Sycamore.
Good old-fashioned racing at Sycamore Speedway. Let's go racing.
Dents can happen at any time. A shopping cart that blew into your car. A new driver that had an oopsie. Whether it's old dents, new dents, dents happen. D&J Dent Removal, no dent left behind, are the professionals who will work with your insurance and have your vehicle back to looking like nothing ever happened. Your classic car with its original paint can be treated by their team too. Talk to D&J Dent Removal. Save time and money with D&J Dent Removal. Visit dnjdentremovalmontgomery.com. No dent left behind.
Hey, did you know Anderson Plumbing and Heating offers a yearly membership program?
Really?
Yeah, their technician was at my house installing my new outside faucet, and he mentioned the membership program. So not only did I save money on that visit, but I'm also going to get my furnace checkup this fall and my AC unit checkup in the spring for free. It's a great deal. It's only $99 for the year.
Sounds like I need to get on their plan.
Anderson Plumbing and Heating, a proud Lennox dealer. Air is life. Make it perfect. Learn more about memberships at AndersonPH.com. Our reviews say it all.
Hi, this is Otto from the Exhaust Works in Montgomery at 1157 South Lake Street. We are well known for our exhaust and muffler repairs, but we also perform other auto services. Our techs are well qualified to do brakes, suspension, CV axles, struts, and shocks. We can diagnose that check engine light too. Replacing catalytic converters and oxygen sensors is no problem. And we sell, mount, and balance tires. So call the Exhaust Works at 630-892-0344. When your vehicle needs help, we're here for you.
We are flirting with disaster, getting to the end of the hour here, and we can get a lot of stuff in, but we're We're going to hit this real quick. The All-Star race at North Wilkesboro Speedway, packed house, had a lot of preliminary events there, had the modifieds run there, had the Cars Tour run there, packed house both nights. They're talking about, hey, should we have a cup race here? And everybody seems to be giving it a thumbs up. In fact, Junior suggested, let's get rid of the All-Star race and the Busch race or the Busch Clash or whatever it is, and maybe make that just one event somewhere during the year instead of having it. And
float it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So in the Open, how you got into the if you weren't fast enough to win a race, Carson Hocevar took that over John Hunter Nemechek for Legacy Motorsports, one of the bright spots of their season. Christopher Bell got the win over Joey Logano, mainly because of that promoter's caution.
That honked me up. A promoter's caution. That should be the end of that, and never have a buffoon wave the yellow flag and then drop it on the.
I think Michael Waltrip probably had a few cocktails at the bar and then went, whoops.
He's a buffoon when he isn't drinking.
At least it wasn't the green flag.
Yeah, that's true.
So it was only the yellow. But
did you see that, Ryan? Were you watching that?
I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, he was waving it, and then there was some tweak. Whoops.
Yeah. Well, my mom's going to be upset you're bad-mouthing him.
Really? Oh, yeah, I can't help it.
So, and I wasn't, and none of the drivers were a fan of this promoter's caution. But either way, Christopher Bell took the win over Joey Logano. Ross Chastain was right there in the mix. I watched that whole race. I thought it was very competitive. I thoroughly enjoyed that race. And then the trucks, they ran there. Chandler Smith took that win over Lane Riggs. That was kind of a little bit of a crash fest there at the end. Ty Majeski, who was always pulling for him, he finished 6th. And so what do you got? You know what we had going on this weekend? A big event over here.
You know why we don't? You forget because there was no foul weather, no storms. That usually happens down at
Route 66. Yeah, there's always a storm. Well, no, they did have a storm. It's called the dust storm.
Yeah.
I think all of us have lived here most of our lives.
Yeah.
Only time I've ever seen a dust storm was when I was in Oklahoma back in the day, and a dust storm roll in. I seen it coming in on Facebook. I'm like, yes, I got to get here. That's out in Pontiac and Bloomington and all that. Next thing you know, you look out the window and you're like, what in the world?
The last time there was a dust storm was 2023 in Illinois. That doesn't mean it was up by us, but.
Well, it's pretty common when it's down in the, like I said, Pontiac and down there where you got all the open fields. That's pretty common. But before it to travel all the way up here and to affect Chicago.
Right.
And that's, I think they said the last time was 1934 or something. You remember that, don't you?
But let's talk with Mike Spiel.
I like that it happened right after I washed my car.
Oh, God.
Yeah. You caused that moment.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you jinxed us. So the NHRA event, we'll run through these winners, and then we get one particular winner we need to talk about. So Top Fuel, Tony Stewart took the Top Fuel win over Justin Ashley. Funny car, Jack Beckman with the John Force team. They're rolling right along. He took the win over Austin Prock. Pro Stock in the bikes. Gage Herrera took the win over Matt Smith. And the Pro Mods, which is becoming my favorite class, Mason Wright took the win over J.R. Gray. And even with the Top Fuel, Tony Stewart's in second place right now. It's a little early to start talking up. Well, I don't know. I printed him up this morning.
Everything I've read, he's in first.
He's even first? Okay. Well, maybe I printed him up an hour too early.
Could be, yeah.
But
Can you imagine, though? Let's just say he wins a Top Fuel championship. He can put that up there with an IRL championship, an IndyCar championship, a NASCAR championship, Silver Crown championship, midget championship. I mean, now...
Well, now you can put him, when people like to compare him to A.J. Foyt and all that stuff, now you could really put him at the top of the heap. I got this little tidbit from my fill-in partner here when I'm usually gone, Larry Ament. He sent this to me, which is a nice little tidbit. Tony Stewart is the only driver to win a sprint car race on the dirt oval down at Route 66, a Top Fuel event, and win 3 NASCAR championship races.
Yeah, and he won.
And he won at the Chicagoland Speedway as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, he's That's quite a transfer, I think, to have your head thrown back into a seat for those kind of Gs at 300 and something miles an hour. I don't know.
Yeah, 0 to 300 in 3 seconds. That's got to hurt. You know, we could be talking about this Ryan Montgomery one of these days accomplishing all of that.
Well, let's hope you get that car figured out, and by the end of the year when we have our championship drivers up here, then we're going to be talking to you, and you'll be like, you know what, it all worked out. And we have said this before. We've had people in here that have been on the show, and then they end up winning a championship.
Or at least a race or two.
Features,
that usually happens.
That's what I'm hoping.
You know, and you'll have to wear the tux you're wearing here tonight then, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. That's a nice touch, wearing a tux in here tonight.
Yeah, it is. So let's get this car shows this week. Friday the 23rd, Sheridan Cruise Nights, downtown Sheridan. Going to have door prizes and a 50-50. 24th, St. George's Church Car Show in Aurora. It's the Sean Grief Memorial Show. It's from 9 to 3. And that's always the second annual, I believe, and it's an amazing show.
And then you were at a car show. I was at a open house event, but you were at a car show this week.
Oh yeah, the first one out of the blocks for Kendall County Fairgrounds. We could see who won something. 3-time track champion from Grundy County Speedway, Joe Einhaus, won an award, and it's funny. The judge knew Joe, but didn't know it was Joe that she until. You know, the award.
What? You lost me.
All right, so we had.
Who's on first?
We had a great judge.
Uh-huh.
It's street stock driver Renee Farron was the judge.
Yep.
Well, she picked Joe's truck, not knowing it was Joe's truck at the time she picked it.
Gotcha. So now
that was that.
I'm glad you straightened that out because you lost
Ryan,
me.
you understood me the first time, didn't you?
Sure.
Wow, that sounded convincing.
We were all clueless. Come on.
Yeah, we were all looking
and then
let's back it up a little bit.
Jeez.
Along with Sycamore's got their stuff going on. LaSalle also has stuff going on this week, and they have a $25,000 to win late model race going on this weekend. They got some bands down there for Friday night after their regular show, so check that out.
Quick question, Ryan. Yes, if you could, find the genie in the bottle and you had one wish, and the wish was where you would want to race, and in what kind of a vehicle would you want to race at? One-time deal.
Oh, I don't even know. Be honest with you.
I mean, super late model
one day.
Yeah,
but
you're always gonna stay on dirt.
Yeah, I don't like asphalt.
Now, have you tried asphalt?
I haven't tried it, but it just seems boring to me.
Well, I'll tell you this.
Easy.
They say, and we've said it here a lot, it's easier to go from dirt to asphalt than from asphalt to dirt.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about too. Yeah.
Hey, man, I won at Sycamore,
Yeah, I know. Who came in second? You don't want to hear this again, do you, Melinda?
No, I was just curious. You asked him, but you never said what yours was.
What, if I could race?
Yeah.
Well, growing up, I'm telling you, I wanted to drive a funny car in the worst way until I sat in John Lawson's Top Fuel funny car when he fired it up. I was scared, when it was just idling. There's no way I would have driven that down the track. So, and I've driven a stock car on Chicagoland. We rode in the 2-seater Indy cars.
That was.
I don't know what I would drive. It's hard to say. There's so many options.
To me, whether you're in a dirt car or an asphalt car, I could drive. I'd get back in either one right now. And even a Formula One or an Indy car, I think once you get used to the downforce and you get used to the G's, I think that'd be fine. The people that have something wrong with them and have a special attitude is the people that drive the funny cars. And I mean that, and the rails or the Top Fuel, to have that kind of horsepower sitting in your lap. And that thing is jerking around, and we've all been down. I've been down at Route 66 and rolled them cars up on the line, and when they launch, I cannot wrap my head around that you're just like, oh, Lord, please help me. You know, and then you are for 3 seconds, you know.
Did you ever do any drag racing, Ryan?
I have not. No.
Okay.
You mean never even illegal drag racing?
Well, I can't say that.
You know what? I'll say this would be cool to run a dirt late model at Eldora on the dirt at Eldora. I think that would be kind of cool. Boy, they can sling those in there. Mm-hmm. Right, Ryan?
Being an Eldora period would be cool.
Yeah, right.
See, so you do have something. We were talking to you before. You were like, if you could run a super late or a UMP modified or something around Eldora, something like that.
Yep, that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, that's one of the Daytona tracks, I would say, for the dirt.
Yeah, you're right. Well, Ryan Montgomery, thanks for joining us tonight. Wish we had a little more time, but you watch now. You're gonna have a good year. I think you are.
So.
I got to thank your mom too for her texting me and getting you on here, because we were going to have you on here. We'd have you on here eventually, you know. But your mama reached out to me, and I'm like, all right, let's get him on here.
What PR firm does she work at?
The house, like, apparently.
So good luck this year.
Thank you.
I got a feeling. I do. You got it together, and you got a good pit guy. You know, that you can, work off of each other with those setups.
Well, if you got to drive, that's what you got to have. If you got the drive and the hunger, you'll do fine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So maybe at the end of the year, you'll be here again.
Yeah, hopefully so.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me on.
All right.
All right.
Belinda, thanks for doing what you do, because we couldn't do it without you.
Thanks, guys.
And thanks for listening. Good night.
The roar of the engines, the excitement of the crowd.
Let's go. It's time for family fun for everyone at Sycamore